Well, hello YouTubers, I'm back on the expedition and I'm going to tackle this OBD-II code reading issue. I don't have any power to the link, the data link, which is up under here. And you see I got it plugged up there and it is dead. And I'll go ahead and turn the key on. And when I turn the key on, you can see the light. Check in the service engine light, service engine soon light will come on, go off. And this thing is dead, so something's going on. So I'll show you what I've done so far, and mainly it's just kind of a troubleshooting thing. I've gone out here and I pulled this cover off, and I've checked all these fuses, and they all seem to be good. And I don't have an owner's manual with this vehicle. I have one, but it's for a 97, but I don't think it's quite the same. I am going to go out here shortly and see if I can get one for 2,000 just to make my life a little easier. Now I've checked all these fuses. I've actually taken a pair of needle nose pliers like this and grabbed these guys, and actually they have a tool for this, and I've got one, I'm not sure where it is, and actually visually looked at those fuses to make sure they were okay, and I saw nothing that was actually bad here, so I'm going to have to continue looking here. Now I've got the key on right now. And another trick you can do sometimes on these OBD readers, you can actually have a sensor that will short out. So I'll turn the key back on. And, okay, we got power. And still, my code reader is still dead. So what I usually do, I'll go out here one at a time. And all these sensors you see, just unplug them. And go back inside and see if your code reader comes back on. And of course it's not, so what I'm going to do is to check all these sensors out here. I've got probably about 5 or 6 that are on different things here. I'm just going to keep unplugging each one of them until that light comes back on. But if it doesn't come back on, then I'll continue checking some other things here. We'll check some wires and stuff. Alright, now after about 7 sensors I've unplugged here, and this is my last, see this one here, this is my last one. I'll unplug that. Go in here, and this is a little painstaking, but this is what you got to do sometimes. And still, I don't have any power coming into my code reader. And you see my dash lights, the key is on and all that. So now what I'm going to have to do is start looking at wires. Now I did put a brand new master cylinder on here, and I may have moved some wires and broken a wire, so I'm going to go ahead and get my hand down in here. I'm going to check all these wires and shake them around and see if that makes any difference. And also on this air cleaner, don't forget, on the Expedition you got a wire here and you got a secondary wire. See, going down here, and there's that one. And just disconnect things and see if it makes a difference. So let me go ahead and check some wires here and see what we get. Alright, so I'm pretty much done out here. I've checked all these wires. I don't see anything broken under this fuse block. Everything looks good. So pretty much out here, this is a wrap. So there's something else going on. And I'm going to have to probably go inside. Now, what I did do before I got too involved with those wires, I went to the local parts store. Well, not parts store, local junkyard. I picked me up a 2000 Expedition manual, and these are nice to have. And the reason I'm doing is, a lot of times when you buy vehicles, you don't even get these anymore. People throw them out, and you get a vehicle, and you don't know what's going on with the fuses, and you have to pretty much rely on the manual. So I couldn't figure out. I thought, well, you know, there had to be more fuses. I checked the fuses out here, and I thought, well, there's got to be more fuses for this thing. And I got to looking in the manual, and there is a second block of fuses. The one block of fuse is actually under the hood, which you saw earlier, which it talks about on the first page here. Then if you flip it over, it'll say on the passenger side fuse panel compartment on the bottom, there's a secondary fuse. And I started looking, and I couldn't find it. Then I got down here, and ta-da, there it is, hidden right here. So I knew there was a secondary panel somewhere. Now on the Ford Explorers that I've had, the O2s, you just look up under here and you can visually see the fuses. But this one here, they kind of got it hidden, and you still don't see it. Then you got to take this panel off here. Sometimes either get it off there. Come on. Okay, and there it is, and there's my other set of hidden fuses, and looky there, I got a tool to remove my fuses. Now, this makes me feel a little bit better because I knew there was more fuses somewhere, by me not having this manual, I probably could have went to this manual first and went in here and looked at these fuses. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start looking at fuses here. I've got the key still on, and I still don't have anything on the code reader. And one thing I have noticed here is this one port does work. See the blue light? Now, if I plug it into the main cigarette lighter, it's not working. So I'm hoping that's what it is, but this port has never worked in the past, so I'm not sure. But I did get the back port, which is back here in the back. It's working, which is really nice. This runs my radar detector. You'll probably hear it beep when I plug it back in. There you go. So I've got them all working. It would be nice to get the cigarette lighter working. So I'm going to go ahead and start checking fuses here. Now, on this manual, it says the fuse for the OBD-II scan tool and the cigarette lighter is number 3, which takes a 20 amp. If I turn this sideways and we look at this right here, and right there it is, this right in the center of the frame, number 3. So I'm gonna have to set the camera down and go in there and start pulling fuses, and we'll come back and see what we got. All right, folks, I got some pretty good news. I'm kind of shocked. After pulling all these fuses out here one at a time, and make sure you get them back in where they should be. This one right here, number 20, that runs the cigarette lighter and the OBD-II code reader. Check this out. That sucker was blowing the whole time. I think you can see it there if the camera focuses right. But it's done. Shot. So now we're going to go ahead and plug this new one in, and I hope this does the trick. Let's see what we do. Get it in there. It's a 20 amp. All right, there we go. All right then. Now, it's always good to pull all your fuses out and visually check them, because sometimes, you know, you might have something blowing and not even know about it. All right, so let's go up here and look at what the new fuse is in, and voila, what do you know? There we go. All right, I'm happy. Wow, that had me worried for a few days. Looks like that took care of the issue. Now let's go ahead and change this around here. Let's see if we have power in the cigarette lighter. And look at that, we got power. Yes! This is what you gotta do sometimes. It's just process of elimination. But like I said, if I'd had a book earlier, I would have known right off the bat where this other fuse block was. I just assumed there was only one outside. But yes. So I'm gonna shut the key off, turn the key off here real quick. Let me pull the key out so we don't drive us crazy. All right. And look at that, it still stays on. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it. And it goes off. All right, now let's plug it back in. And boom, it comes right back on. This is what I was looking for. So if you have a code reader that's not connecting, check your fuses. Make sure you check every fuse you can find. And if you don't have a manual for your car, you might want to go online and just double check that you are covering all the fuses. Like I said, some of them could be hidden and you might not know about it. And just kind of troubleshoot away. So I'm really happy. Now, I did have a code. Now, since I unhooked the battery earlier and I was playing around with it, it erased that code, but I'll have to drive it a little bit more, and I'm sure I'll get that code to come back on. And I'm actually going to do a video on this code. It's a code for the P440, I believe. It's the code where everybody's replacing catalytic converters, oxygen sensors, and just wasting tons of money when, in fact, it's real simple. And I'll show you right out here what it is. It's the intake gaskets that are bad. I've actually got a video online about this from a few years ago. So I'm not going to get too involved in this, but I will make a video on that a little bit later. Once I drive it a little bit and my code pops back up, well, the check engine light comes back on, then we'll go ahead and look at this code and see how it works out. So we'll see if we got any codes. We'll hit this. Hopefully the glare is not too bad. Well, actually, you know what? I have to turn the ignition switch on, so that's not going to help me anything much there. So, let's do this. Since I'm still rolling, but at least it's working. You know, I'm getting an error and all that, which is great. And get the glare off of it. And we'll let this work away. And now I can go ahead and figure out why I passed. No codes. Yay! So my OBD-II code reader is working. And hopefully these tips will help you guys out as I get the key stuck in the ignition. And it really pays to have a manual for your vehicle when you want to do stuff like this. So there you go, guys. I hope this helps you out. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. So there you go. And thanks for watching. And to my next project, I'll see you guys later. And now I can do what I need to do is go ahead and finish this engine up, get that check engine light off later with that intake gasket when it comes back on, especially the light. And I'll see you then. Hopefully, maybe I'll have that video up by then. Till then, thanks a lot for watching. If you like any of my videos, give me a thumbs up.